Good morning from Southern California. I'm sorry I'm away, down here to see my son in a show. So I will be adding some content here for you guys to enjoy this morning. Here is Jonathan preparing for the show, and here he is singing at LEST back a few years ago. Now down to business. The scientific method we can test through experimentation. We have proven many assumptions people believed about the world were not true through direct or indirect experiments or measurements. Then technology has been built on that. The scientific method is a tool we can use to understand nature. This is one way of knowing, but it is not perfect and certainly corruptible. The current system of scientific research requires researchers to publish in peer-reviewed journals so that others can repeat and validate the experiment. Researchers publish and then write grants, citing their past work to substantiate their next project. They have millions of grant dollars and their personal employment riding on the results of their experiments. Very little money is designated to confirm studies. So recently we have discovered the logical conclusion to the system. Scientists lie about their results and change their data to match the community's expectations. Scientific fraud has been dependably discovered over the past 5 years. Every research scientist has an obvious bias that their hypothesis about the very specific thing they are studying is going to be proven to be true through their experiments. Many who are not in the scientific or engineering fields have asked me how I can work in that world of unbelief. The big questions that many assume are in our face every day, well, they're just not. The fields of science are so specific, we spend all of our time studying one minute aspect of nature. No one gets funding to be a generalist and try to assemble all the ideas into one continuous explanation of nature. Therefore, most scientists who really understand this remember that the dialogue is what's important about bringing out interesting facts and not rigid adherence to the discoveries of the past. I am convinced that Christians cannot abandon scientific careers because some textbooks assume a creation story that does not agree with ours. A scientist is trained to be skeptical, which can also apply to all of the extrapolation that is what is in the textbooks, and to question the details and methods. Everyone has bias that affects their thinking. It is time I share my bias. I believe that you and I are God's special creation. I say special because I have faith that God has a plan for our lives. He has prepared a world and this time for us to make a difference. Now, this belief system of mine changes the way I look at the scientific results of studies. When I look at the human anatomy on every level, I conclude that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I find it difficult to fathom the random change that has been selected for by the environment has produced the beautifully intricate human body.